for all the hoopla about free agency, I think there's just three players 49er fans need to take a tab of. To me, I think the season will go either up or down based off Banks, Moore, and Kinlaw. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if those three players are
You're telling me the season depends on those three stiffs? I mean, players, that's rough. Wow.
But the 49ers are telling you that. They're telling you that, right? They're saying that we believe in Javon Kinlaw. We believe in Jalen Moore. We believe in Aaron Banks because they have not addressed any of that stuff. And, here's the thing.
Are they telling you they believe in him? Because they said, 2 months ago, they told us they didn't believe in him.
No,
but
what
is that?
To Cougar's point, right? Larry Cougar's point, I think the Super Bowl window has closed. They are a perennials playoff team, fringe playoff team. I won't say perennial playoff team. And here's why.
Debo remember Samuel just blocked you on Twitter for that. Wow. Debo, he just blocked you on Twitter for saying that he couldn't take them all the way. Sorry.
Well,
Sorry.
Again, just my opinion, because here's the thing, they're doing very much what the Cincinnati Bengals did. We thought that they were going to copy the Rams because they were in the Rams division. No, they were doing what the Cincinnati Bengals did. The Cincinnati Bengals looked at their weaknesses in the upcoming draft, did not address them in free agency last year, or in the draft. They got a wide receiver who's like the second best wide receiver in the league, right? Yeah. But essentially they did none of that and still got to the Super Bowl. Why? Because they had a stud quarterback, right? And essentially the 49ers are telling me is that they don't know if they've got a stud quarterback, but they're going to give it a try. And if they get really far, then they're going to go all in next year. You know why? Because that's what Cincinnati's doing. Because Cincinnati's figured out that they got to put pieces around him. They got to make sure that he's protected.
Well, maybe the Niners would know right now if they had played Trey last year.
But you know what, though? Here's the thing. Cincinnati, ironically, in the same boat because that dude got injured, right? He played like 2 or 3 games the year before, so they had no idea, and he was drafted just as high. I think he was 1 or 2, right, for Cincinnati. So same sort of dynamic.
So the Niners are trying to lose the Super Bowl this year? I feel that. That's a good goal. I like that.
So to me, they're telegraphing that they somewhat believe in Trey. They're just not going to go all in investment-wise until he proves it, which, can you blame them? It's a business.
But hold on. I feel you, but let me come back to my original point. The difference between the Bengals and the Niners is that the Niners know they have Debo Samuel. The Bengals last year, they just drafted Jamar Chase. They probably felt good about it, but they didn't know that he was the best player in the league, and they needed it. They just signed Lyle Collins. The Bengals just upgraded their offensive line to help Joe Burrow, while the Niners are like, Trey, you haven't earned that kind of investment yet. Why don't you go prove that you can protect yourself, and then we'll get you a left guard and a right tackle.
Again, so there's a paradigm shift, right? And then that brings me to the second point. The 49ers, and hold on one second. Is San Francisco considered a big market? I'm not being an ass. I'm just asking. Comparatively to LA, are they smaller?
I would think so. There's a lot of millions of people in the Bay Area. Yes.
Okay. So
even the South is millions of people in the South Bay alone. Yes.
Okay. So to me, they're almost acting like the Oakland A's of baseball.
Yes, they are
calling it right,
pretending like they're a small market team. Like no,
right? And
you have the Bay Area to yourself.
Correct. They're the LA teams going very much like I'm a baseball guy. I'm a Yankee guy. Yankees go all in, right? They spend money. They're a big market team. That's what LA is trying to replicate, right? And so for the 49ers, they're taking a different approach, which is interesting to see if that's going to work long term for them. But that's the thing. It's a long game. They're playing a long game in football, which technically is probably not the best sport.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like the trend in the league right now is to play for now. You play for now. But
I also think that that's probably because of COVID, and there's not a lot of tape on these college guys. It's a crapshoot when you do have tape and they've played a lot of games. But the last 2 or 3 years, there hasn't been that many games.
But I think what you're seeing is that it's worked for the last 2 Super Bowl winners, and now it's a trend, and every team is doing it.
Well, okay, so statistically, a trend is something that happens more than once or twice, right? So I'm still going to go by the narrative of building your team, having a low-cost quarterback, because statistically, that's how most teams win. And that's what the 49ers are doing. What they're not
Allow me to retort, though. It seems like that's how it used to be, right? You build through the draft. You have a 3-year plan. It's been proven that you can go from worst to first in 1 year in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, the
It's
Niners
been
did
proven.
in
And
2019.
the big key is the fact that the cap is going up so much and everyone's counting on it. So it's like the cap is less of a factor than it was 10 years ago. It's exploding.
Not
And
if you pay wide receivers $30 million a year. It's going to be the same
that's
thing.
no problem if you're spending $8 million on your quarterback.
For how long?
That's why the Dolphins are doing it.
Correct.
And why the Chiefs aren't.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. But here's the thing, though. Who has a better chance of winning the Super Bowl, the Chiefs or the Dolphins right now? If you had to put money.
Chiefs. Which is why I'm saying trade Kittle, trade Garoppolo. Let's go all in right now, baby.
Well, and then brings me to the last point is that at the end of the day, the probability of Trey Lance replicating what Patrick Mahomes did
100%.
is slim to none.
So slim to none. Slim to none.
Slim to none, because that would mean that he would take the league by storm, throw 50 touchdowns. I'm just being a realist. You know what I mean? Do I think that they're like the fourth or fifth best team in the NFC? Yes, absolutely. But they also probably have the hardest schedule of those contenders as well, along with the Rams. They're going to eat each other in their division. Then they got to go turn around and play probably now the best division in football, the AFC West. And all those teams, the NFC West and the AFC West, they all play each other. So that's another thing. Like, they may statistically be better with Trey, but they may have a worse record because of the schedule. And the schedule matters in football. It's not like other sports.
It's true. Karan, I got to take more calls. It's a long day, but thanks for calling in. It's great to see you. I'll talk to you soon. Man, the disrespect I'm hearing for Jimmy Garoppolo, for Deebo Samuel. The first caller said trade Deebo, not Kittle. And then Karan, whom I love, said that the window is done with Deebo, the best player in the league. The best player in the league, and the window is just closed. It's over.